Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rukah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone. Salutation to your brothers who's pushing his word in sincerity and in truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. Brother Ari again with another lesson. Now, first, I just want to say this, when you come to this truth, you're in the world, and then you hear this truth, and you come to acknowledge this truth. One of the first things that you got to do is put away everything that you learn in the world, right? You got to, put that aside and come to the truth empty, ready to receive, right? So that's some precepts bookmark, so you can just go through them. This is the book of Luke chapter 5 and verse 37. It says, "No man can put new wine into an old bottle," right? And the wine represents for this truth, right? The bottle represents you, right? She says, "No man can put new wine into an old bottle, else the new wine will burst the bottle and be spilled, and the bottle shall perish." Right? So no man, you can't leave the so-called churches and come to the truth and still holding on to the things that you were starting in the church, because they taught you bare lies, this old wine, right? So you got to throw away what you learn and become as a babe again, right? It says, "No man can put new wine into an old bottle, else the new wine will burst the bottle and be spilled, and the bottle shall perish. But new wine must be put into new bottles, and both are preserved." It says, "No man also have drunk old wine." It says, "No man also having drinking old wine straightway desire new, for he said, old is better." Right? So, and this old wine is what gonna lead you to destruction, but this new wine, which is this word, the true understanding of this word, is gonna lead you to life eternal, right? So when you come to this truth, you gotta put away the old wine, put away all these, false doctrine that you learn in the world, and come ready to receive other than to give. This book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisy and and envious envious and all evil speaking. So lay aside these things. Once you come and you learn the truth, you learn that Yahweh Shai, the Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus, his name is not Jesus, his name is Yahweh Shai. You learn that through the scripture, you learn that the Most High and his Son is two different beings. You learn that, he's not a so-called white man as the teacher in the so-called churches. Once you learn the truth, you got to put away these things. It says, lay aside all malice and guile and hypocrisy, right? And envy and all evil speaking. So for calling upon Jesus Christ, you'd be speaking evil. So you got to lay aside all these things. It says, as babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. So you have to desire the milk of the scriptures so that you could grow, right? So that you could get a better understanding. You can't just come to the truth and want meat. You gotta decide the things that is easier for you to understand, even to a baby. You don't feed a baby, a newborn baby with chicken or beef. They gotta start with milk and then crush food, and then gradually till they meet a full age, then they can eat meat, right? This is the book of Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 12. For when it is time, ye ought to be taught, for when it is time, ye ought to be teach. Ye have need for one to teach you again, which is the first principle of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need for milk, and not for strong meat. It says, for everyone that uses milk is unskillful. So you have to come into this truth. You're drinking milk, which is the milk scriptures, and then you learn to get skillful in the milk scriptures, and then you move on. There is a level to this thing. There's order, and as you go, there's different levels and levels and levels and levels. So you gotta follow the order and just come up level after level. Don't try to jump no level, because it says, for everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe, for he's a little child. It says, but strong meat belongs to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of using have their cases, but strong meat belongs to them that are full of age, even those who by reason of using have their reason it says Just bear with me a bit. You have reason to discern between good and evil, so as you grow in this truth, this is how you can get the discernment. Next precept. Now, Yahushua said this to one of the Pharisees. He says, this is John chapter 3. John chapter 3 and verse 1. There was a man of the Pharisee named Nicodemus who ruled of the Jews. And the same came to Yahushua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher came from the Most High. For no man can do these miracles that which thou, except Yahweh be with him. And Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. So, except you become as a babe, you humble yourself, put away evil speaking and wrongdoing, this is how you're going to become like a babe, and you go with the sincere milk of the scriptures and you just keep, because when you come to Yahushua, you become a new creature. All things are passed away. So you forget this. Just bear with me a bit. Second Corinthians 5 and verse 17. Therefore, if any man be in Yahushua Mashiach, he is a new creature. All things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. All things are become new. So when you come to this truth, you get rid of the old wine, all the old doctrine that he was teaching for all these years. God precept said, for our father has inherited lies, and this is what it teaches. But now as you come to this truth, you put all aside, become a new creature, you become a new bottle, so that the new wine could be poured into it, so that the truth could be poured in. So, hope this video is edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone. Salutation to you brothers who push in sword in sincerity and in truth, to all the four corners of the earth. Shalom.